krajem, który został napadnięty przez agresora. To jest pytanie...
Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has bluntly rejected European Union pressure, insisting Hungary is not at war with Russia, and warning that EU leaders are risking millions of European lives by backing the conflict in Ukraine.
You may think that you are at war with Russia, but Hungary is not. Neither is the European Union. You are playing a dangerous game with the lives and security of millions of Europeans. This is very bad.
Orbán's warning came after Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk declared at the Warsaw Security Forum that the war in Ukraine is our war, framing the conflict as essential to the survival of Western civilization.
We often hear, both here in Warsaw and in every other place on earth, we often hear the voices of people who say, "No, this is not our war. It shouldn't concern us. Let them handle it themselves there." We often hear, "Let them kill each other or solve their problems. It doesn't concern us. We don't want to pay. We don't want to sacrifice either our money or our time, let alone the lives of our soldiers." But we must be aware. And it's not about whether someone loves Ukraine or whether someone has had bad or good experiences with Ukraine in history. This is not a question about ordinary, obvious, and necessary solidarity with a country that has been attacked by an aggressor.
Tusk addressed dissent across Europe and within Poland, saying many citizens question why they should risk money, time, and soldiers' lives for Ukraine. He argued that inaction could have catastrophic consequences for the continent's security. Tusk emphasized that this is not about historical ties or emotional sentiment, but an existential threat. The war in Ukraine is part of a recurring global project that challenges Europe's survival.
This is our war, because the war in Ukraine is just part of this dreadful project that appears in the world from time to time. And the goal of this political project is always the same: how to enslave nations, how to take away the freedom of individuals, of people, what to do to make authoritarian regimes, despotism, cruelty, and lack of human rights triumph.
Russia has dismissed European accusations of airspace violations as baseless. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov criticized the Baltic states for escalating tensions, while the Russian Ministry of Defense insisted its flights are routine and fully compliant with international law. Internal divisions within the EU are growing. Slovakia and Hungary openly opposed Brussels' calls for military and financial support to Ukraine, while Bulgaria has seen mass protests against what citizens describe as the Ukrainization of their country. Poland positions itself as Europe's frontline defender, but resistance from other EU states threatens to weaken collective security. Analysts warn that the bloc's inability to unify against Russia could have far-reaching consequences. From Orbán's defiance to Tusk's warnings, Europe's unity is under strain. The question now is not just whether Ukraine can survive, but whether the EU itself can endure its internal fractures while facing a resurgent Russia.